How many beers you figure you can fit in that cup?
A lot. Like, it is huge.
You could fit a cube of pills in there. That's
and it's like not plastic.
Green Diesel, is that what you guys call it?
Green Diesel, yeah.
Fill that thing up. I want to see some party time of it. That'll be a good thumbnail.
That's happening for sure.
Welcome to Get the Net, a fishing podcast that takes a deep dive into competitive events, fishing news, tips, tactics, and most importantly, interviews with some of the most interesting and in-tuned anglers from Canada to the central U.S. We're leaving no stone unturned to bring you the most raw and authentic dock talk. My name is Jamie Bruce. While my resume says bass, my frying pan says walleye. I'm no stranger to the multi-species realm. Whether you're puttering on tackle, driving the bus, cutting the grass, or killing time in a 9 to 5, we'll try to give you something in every episode to take with you on the water, or at the very least, bring you a few laughs.
I took about a 15-minute nap. And that, like, just once I woke up from that 15-minute nap, I was like re-energized, and I was just like, let's do this. Like, and I'll be honest with you, the pike bite completely shut off for us. If the flags would have still been flying, we probably wouldn't have left.
Right.
We would have been like, let's try to upgrade that pike a little bit more, right? Because I had no confidence in the whitefish game at all. But we never had a flag for like 2 hours. After we caught Adam caught that 42 1/4. It was like we never had another flag for 2 hours. So it was
once it got overcast, right? It kind of seemed just to shut right off.
Yeah, no, it was bad in that sense. So it was like, okay, I'm like, I woke up from a nap, like, we got to do this. I'm like, my whole thing in life's always been like, I don't want to look back and go, why didn't we at least try? I'm okay with failing, probably how like you probably feel with going and taking a shot at the bass circuit, right? Like, you don't want to look back and go, why didn't I at least just try?
Yeah.
I don't want to, I'm fine with failing. I failed a lot of things in life and I'll keep failing, but I don't want to, you got to try.
Man, it's easy to be on the couch and say that you got to at least try it. But when you guys are out there standing in that weather and then like actually enact that statement, that's in my opinion, what separates it, That's how you get a really good competitive angler, is someone that'll like grind through that, because it looked freaking terrible. I was like sitting on the couch, like ripping a coffee. I'm like, I'm pretty good right here.
and obviously I flew through the whole editing part of it, right? Because it'd be boring if I did. But we probably went for like what, Adam, 45 minutes? Probably before we finally found that fish, which is not that long, right?
Yeah.
Live
image snow too, it was terrible.
Yeah, the snow was like, it was ridiculous. We had a system. It was like, okay, my sled set up so perfect, had the live imaging in the back of the sleigh, got off the sled, drill a hole, scan the live imaging, nothing, go. So it was like, I drill the first hole, Adam drill the second hole. We just kept switching, right? But like Adam said, it was over your knee snow. It was painful. We had no slush, at least, though. It was mostly just deep snow there, which we were really fortunate and lucky for there. But oh yeah, it was like sideways wind, and how I even captured what I did on video with like what little audio we had live and the head camera and stuff like that, because usually when it starts to get like that, everything just starts dying. Nothing works right.
Yeah. So, you guys should have ate that whitefish. Like the champions fry.
It would have been good for sure. I remember it was like, we're going to keep fishing. And then we fished her for like another 15 minutes. And I don't even know if I even put a flasher in or anything. We're just like, just completely out of it. And I'm like, what are we still doing here? I'm like, what are we going to do? I'm like, now, looking back, now when I look back, I go, geez, I'm glad somebody didn't beat us by like a half an inch and we didn't keep trying. Right. Like, that's my whole, like my hamster's turning now. And he's like, Clayton, you should have kept pushing. Like, what were you doing? You could have ruined that. So.
Oh, that was good. That was a perfect ending in my opinion. So
me screaming like a donkey, we win when we really don't have an idea. Like,
I've done that before, man. It's the best feeling ever, because it takes it takes 3 exhilarating things and combines them, it combines them together. You get a fish catch, which, I mean, a white fish isn't that exciting, but a fish catch, you get a fish catch in a tournament that you really need, and then almost validation that you're winning all at the same time.
Yeah,
Like when
that's what it was.
you win. Yeah. So that's just, I mean, I would have done the same. I've screamed, we win.
Yeah. It was just like, we both built up a story in our heads the whole time. And it's like, how can somebody physically beat our bites? Because we know how hard they were. And to have 6 out of the 7 fish, a master angler size fish, and the perch is only, it's 2 inches short. So it's not that much. It's like, how can you physically do this? Right. But obviously it's definitely possible. Like, I know if we do it again, like I'm already my hamster's turning already, because it's like now teams know what's possible and people might even go crazier. So
yeah. You guys going to fish any open water tournaments together now, or what? Or is that more Adam's thing?
No, I would like to.
Yeah, like Jamie was saying there, open water with Clay next summer. Yeah, I would love to. Hopefully, I don't know, we can put something together. Maybe Calling Lakes tournament, the Fort chain. Yeah, who knows? It's a long ways away, but yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, if I fish an open water tournament, it's going to be with Adam. It's my hardest thing is trying to like mix it into the schedule with filming. As you saw from the whole like 39 hour game of inches thing, I'm super competitive. And it's like, I want to, you know what I mean? So like, even in an open water tournament, like I'm the type of guy that wants to go pre-fish for as long as he can and do all that. So if that takes time away from my filming part though, which is like my living, it's a lot harder to do it. So I want to, I'm competitive.
Winning.
Yeah. Just got to keep winning.
Yeah. Oh, it might be cool to watch like the process on film too,
For sure.
A lot of guys get away with that.
I would like to do, if I can film it a little bit as we go, it's definitely worth it for sure. Like, but it's so hard filming it in a tournament. Like as soon as you start to get a little bit of wind and all that, because obviously your focus is the tournament, right? The cameras are taking a back seat. I did a little fun walleye tournament online with Carter this year. And it was like, I filmed it. We finished second. Everything was good, but I still haven't edited it yet because it was like, my priority was never the cameras, right? It was always like putting some fish in the boat.
Right.
It's hard. I give guys like Brandon Palnick and those guys like so much credit, right, for capturing what they can and like literally during their livelihood. Like, yes, they have a camera boat that follows them around and stuff like that, but during the day he's still making sure his GoPro's running, his mics are going, right? Like,
not even that. Like he's giving his editor a break. You'll see, like, if it's a good clip, if he says something, or if it's a fish catch, you'll see him reach back and hit highlight on his GoPro.
Yeah, exactly.
Something you'd only see if you were already doing that. Never would have noticed that before, but that's commitment.
Yeah. So I give him all the credit in the world, right? Like for doing all that, because that's hard to be able to combine those two of those together.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. One or the other is going to suffer at some point, you would think. But I mean, yeah, it's obviously you're obviously into it. I saw a derby you did against Jay for largemouth. Like you're all over that.
Oh yeah.
So
no, I love that. I've always, I come from a huge hockey background I'm a competitive person, right? Like there's no doubt about it. But it's hard to separate the two, or it's hard to put the two together, I guess, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Adam? You competitive or you kickbacker? It's hard to tell. I can't get a beat on you.
No, I'm going to play hockey tonight at 11 o'clock. The game starts at, so she's whatever, minus 43 out tonight, and we're going to bang sticks around and see if we can get a W. So yeah, no, competitive, just like Clay, hockey background, and tournaments are just, I don't know, they just fire up the show even more. Sometimes it's almost sickening what a guy goes through, but yeah, you know what it's all about. So it's
Jamie, he'll sit in his ice shack, not in a tournament. He'll sit there and stare at his flasher and fish more intense than anybody I've ever seen. He's competitive. He doesn't even sit down. He kneels like all day. So he's like always has to be ready. Like it's insane.
Don't do the chairs. No chair.
It's insane.
No,
I
I see
can't
in
do
all
it.
your pictures you got those little like IKEA tiles, and you're always kneeling on those.
Yeah. I just went and bought like a memory foam, like a actually decent piece, so it's a little easier. But
Just a
yeah,
kneeboard champion out there, hey?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how it goes. You know, you hook one of those big mamas, you got to be ready. Can't be sleeping at the wheel.
Man, that's hardcore. I got a buddy, actually it's Gussie's dad, and when you go ice fishing with him, he will not walk in between the holes. He runs at a full pace with all his gear.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Efficiency. Lure in the water.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what
in
it all
his
is. It all
60s.
comes down to lure in the water, 100%. He probably doesn't change his bait very often then either. He probably always using the same bait.
Oh,
Lure in the
yeah.
water.
Rip and hole to hole, just drilling nonstop, running, like puts in 20,000 steps just ice fishing around.
Oh, that's
Good for
awesome.
him.
So
Yeah.
I know the type. I ain't the type in the winter. Maybe if there were more like derbies like this. Like we do have one, I mentioned it to Adam. It's the Crystal Harbor Lake Trout Tournament. And you kind of get like a 7 or 8 mile area where you can go catch a lake trout. Everyone makes these huge live wells. It sounds bush league, but you know, we all have these 60-inch like big live balls with foam in them, and you put them in there and then haul them to the gas station and weigh them in and let them go, and they do really well. But that's
cool.
the only taste of like actual competitive ice fishing that I've ever seen. So
Are you
I'm
fishing
hoping
any
this.
of the Keystone stuff then? Are you fishing the Keystones at all?
I was talking to Adam about it, you know, and had planned on registering, but I only guide one guy all year really, and it was the same weekend, so not going to work out, but definitely looks like a good idea, and really kind of hopefully that keeps growing because that's a sweet format and seems to work out well for them.
Yeah, and then by the championship, I don't think I'm doing it. No, I have to be. A lot of my filming for a lot of my Manitoba stuff is like all like just over the same time frame, right? So it turned out I could have fished the first one, but would have had to leave like that first night in a hurry, and then I could have fished the second one, but I couldn't fish the third one. So it's just there's so much going on. I'd like to fish them at some point. It's just it won't be this year, so maybe next year. I think Adam said he's possibly going to fish them though with Louis.
Yeah, Sweet Lou and I are gonna go for a full week. We're gonna put in. Yeah, our stations got booked today, so yeah, should be interesting. Big. It's gonna be a learning. I don't know, a whole learning event. I think the whole week, but it'll be fun. Some good guys down there. You know, it'll be good.
Yeah, I just hope you guys I hope you guys get good conditions and can travel with the truck and stuff like that. Like, because that lake can get so vicious.
Man, it's already on the line, like of there being too much snow. That's how it is here anyway. I don't know how it looks there, but
yeah, Jay told me like you guys are gonna have some wicked slush conditions this year. Like he says, like, it's not looking good at all.
No, it's like early March out there is the vibe we're getting.
And there's no, like, you obviously don't have enough ice yet, right? So like if you guys get another big snowfall, like look out.
Yeah. I went on Saturday. I got the same engine as you, the 900 Ace. I got it in the wide track, and we were only going maybe 6 miles, and I was like, I forgot to get gas. I had 3 bars on the gas tank, so 3/8 of a tank, and we're like, we could go like 50 miles on that usually. I almost ran out of gas. I thought I was going to run out of gas. The gas light was on, like just hauling that gear. It was like hauling a damn igloo behind us. Like it was horrible, you know? Yeah. And it's December. It should just be wheel around and willy-nilly. We were on skates a couple weeks ago.
Jeez. Yeah, not gonna be good. I'm hoping when I go to northern Manitoba, like beginning of January, I'm just like praying that they don't get any more snow up there either. Just
beginning of January.
Yeah, and the coldest of the colds. But some of the lake trail fishing's like can be really good that time of the year up there. So
you guys have been hitting the walleyes pretty hard. Hey, so you got a giant. Were you there for? I haven't watched the video yet. I know you got your a great big thing. Was Adam there for that?
He came the next morning.
Chisler.
Yeah, Like we literally like, so Carter and I got to the lake at like, I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock on Sunday to basically just go check out all the ice, to fish hard for
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're like, okay, we're gonna go check all the ice. Adam's coming the next morning. And we go out, and I'm like, well, we should at least take one shack with us, Carter and rods, like if it's good. So it's, we get out there and it's good. I'm like, well, let's set it up and let's fish for a bit. I was like, I'll turn the cameras on just because, like back, old Clayton, like 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't have even filmed. I would have even been filming, but I'm like, no, let's just throw the cameras on. I'll talk about Mega Live or something like that, whatever. If I catch a fish, we add. I make a video. If we don't, we'll scrap it. And I catch a new PB for weight anyway. 13.6 pound giant. So
That's ridiculous. Did it stay nuts after? Like, did you get some more big ones?
We caught some more fish, bigger fish, nothing giant though, like a couple 28 and a half, 20. I think I got a 28 and 3/4 was the biggest after that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you catch, you caught like the same thing, Adam, right? A couple 28s or something like that? And
yeah, nothing too crazy, but it's still, that same area is still pumping out nice fish. Like even I was out there yesterday, and still, buddy got a 28, and I got a one over 29. So I don't know what it is.
No other holes there too, hey? Like
no,
it's such a
everyone's
so
too lazy to go that far.
It's so good, But it's literally like a big fish spot. Like I fished one of the days and I only caught 4 fish, but the smallest being 23, right? Like a 23, 25, right. 27, and 29. Like it's not like it's not an action spot. You have to literally like sit there all day waiting for a couple bites to come or fish to come through. But it's not like you guys on Lake of the Woods where it's like you gotta be there for your last 2 hours. Like these fish can roll through it literally at noon, at 1 o'clock. They're so unpredictable when they roll through.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you can almost forget about walleye fishing around here unless it's low light.
That's so crazy.
You can go catch them in deep water, but you just kill them all,
Yeah.
It's not like even that's real easy.
No, they're still grumpy out there too.
Yeah, I'm envious of the day bite you boys are running.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of it. So it's like you just sit there all day, and it's like there was twice where I was like doing something else, like had my back to my finder and I look over. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like there was my one chance for the 2 hours, just swam right by, and I wasn't ready. Right, like that's why Adam's
like to spend the whole day on it is. I mean, that's like as much as people complain about the low light thing around here. It's easy. Like you only have to spend an hour or two. Like people don't really get the super grind.
Yeah.
So that's why it's tough taking guys out now because they don't understand that some days you sit there and wait all 8 hours, 9 hours just for that one fish. But
even that's not like a guaranteed thing either, right? Like
no, exactly.
But
you just got to get more hardcore buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the spots we fish, it's like I've been ice fishing that lake for like 15-20 years, so it's like I have some kind of like past with it or experience with it, so I know it's like we put some time in here, like a big fish could swim by eventually, but there's lots of times at the end of the night it's like nothing, right? But you're always thinking, okay, the next fish could be the one, or the next 5 minutes or anything like that. So at least it keeps you going knowing that I have a history with it. So
gotcha. Why do they call you Mr. 30, bud? Obviously, you've got some 30 inches, but I
gave him that nickname. He's caught a lot of 30-inch walleye, like
in tournaments too.
Yeah, in tournaments. I guess you're not in your garage. They caught the biggest fish at Rowan's last year, right?
2 years ago.
2 years, 160 teams. They caught the biggest fish, and the best part about it is like Rowan's tournament, the big fish prize is literally like worth more than like third or second place. Like it's like $7,500 a day. So it's like you can finish fourth and not make as much for like the biggest fish, right? Like it's so cool how they run that part of it.
Yeah,
which is also really cool for that tournament because you're never out of it in that tournament. Like you could be dead last and fish right to the end of the tournament and still have a legit chance of putting $7,500 in your bank account. Like,
right? Yeah,
I like that format. It's kind of cool in that sense. You're never out of it.
Man, I like the way you guys are doing walleye tournaments there. That's big money on the line. Like I don't know if people are like realizing it, but those are the biggest walleye tournaments in the world as far as money goes. Like any of the tours, championships, anything like that, not like everything pales in comparison to that. I can't believe there's enough people around that'll throw. What's the entry fee for Rowan's?
Rowan's is $11.60.
That's a really random number. You got to pay for parking or something. $11.60.
I think there's a dinner involved, and then if you don't, like, that's a tournament within a tournament. So if you don't really want to dump that kind of change in, I think you can get into the half the tournament with $600 entry or something. But
okay,
I know Dougie's trying to. I don't know. There's rumors he might bump it up to turn it into a kind of like a vanity, but those are just rumblings, so I'm not too sure.
And what's vanity?
The one up in Nipawin there on Tobin Lake, the $100,000 tournament.
Yeah, what's the entry fee on that?
It's $2,000 a team.
And how many teams will they get?
Geez, I don't know what they had last year. Like, I don't know. I want to say around that, like 150, 160. I can't remember.
I think they were just short. I think they had 156 teams. I think they cap out at 160, I believe. Last year was the first year that the Vanity hasn't filled up like forever.
That is unbelievable. There's that many. That's crazy. Like you guys are right in it, so you probably don't realize like how big a stake that is, and how impressive it is that it's filling up. Like we've seen tournaments come and go around here, and kind of the $400 ones are popular, and the $800 to $1,200 ones are almost gone except for one. So it's crazy that guys will put up that kind of scratch to go play.
Yeah,
like, what is that? Why is that?
I think it draws from all over, like where they are, like in especially the Vanity. It used to draw teams from the States, Alberta, Manitoba, right? Like it drew teams to come from everywhere in that sense, right? Like because a lot of people would come up and fish the Nipawin River, so they all had experience on it a little bit. That's usually what stops a team from traveling somewhere, is like going to fish something or a tournament that they've never had any experience fishing that body of water before. A lot of times. Right. So with that, it's a destination where people are always already traveling to. So it's like, hey, now we can travel there and also fish the tournament, or we have experience in that body of water. Let's go back for the tournament.
Right. Right. Make a week out of it somewhere you actually want to go. That's how Sturgeon Bay is. They just kind of threw a tournament on top of everyone's fishing trip.
Yeah. Like how many teams does the KBI get right now?
Like between 120 and 140 kind of thing. That's $800 entry, and that's the biggest open team bass tournament in North America.
Yeah.
So to see something like some of these walleye tournaments, it's wild.
People go nuts for their walleye out our way, right? Like we don't have bass really. We have one lake with largemouth bass in it, and
you went and caught them all.
Yeah, I went and caught them all. Yeah, we have one option, right? Like if I want to go fish largemouth, like I can obviously go there, but other than that, like we have to travel a long ways. So the walleye thing here is like huge. And I think that's probably like some of our anglers too. And I hope anybody listening to Saskatchewan doesn't take this the wrong way, but a lot of our anglers in Saskatchewan suffer from diversity because they're just fish walleye and that's it. Whereas somebody out in Lake of the Woods, they have more experience with like a bunch of different species, right? So that's why, like I always use this example as Louis. Louis came from Ontario there somewhere. I forget where Louis moved from exactly, but he came into the walleye show over here and he was winning like tournaments left and right, angler of the year in the CWT. He's won the Vanity, but he's got so much diversity in terms of other species and stuff, right? Like I just feel like once you fish for more fish, different species, you become a better angler in that sense.
Right.
I got way off topic for that, but that's
I didn't know Sweet Lou was a transplant. I thought he was a Sask through and through. Where is he from? No. Ontario?
Yeah, so am I originally.
Yeah, you're from Peterborough, right?
Yeah. Lou's like Guelph or somewhere down that way. He fished a lot of like trout on the Niagara and river fished and stuff like that. So he brought like the finesse side with him. That was kind of right up his alley with the walleye scene. So he kind of fit in super easy and ran with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Are there any like other really good hammers up there? Like anyone else running away with it, or is it all pretty close? Like are there lots of people?
There's
lots of good anglers, But are there any
Well,
like runaways?
the Rowans tournament, there's always like the same teams are in the top 20 consistently, like always.
mhm.
Like, obviously one team here and there will drop out of it or whatever, but for the most part,
Yeah.
like there's one team, they won Bradley Schrader won back-to-back years, right?
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
won
they
it.
won
Yeah,
back-to-back years. I think
In
they
a
won it another
160
time.
boat field. That's
Yeah,
There's like,
unreal.
yeah, exactly, right? Like, no, there's a lot of good hammers, in this
Mhm.
area for sure.
That's
A lot.
cool. Yeah, man, I've been learning a lot about Saskatchewan this year. Went from no knowledge on it at all to, meeting Adam and Sweet Lou and you and is it Gary, the one that runs Rowan's?
Doug Kramer.
Doug had a
Dougie,
brain part.
yeah.
Dougie.
I'm kind of just uncovering the walleye culture there, and man, it's sweet. You guys have a nice zone carved out. I mean,
We always said, like, with Saskatchewan, it's like everybody goes everywhere else, so like learn how to fish and catch stuff. When they want to finally catch big fish, they come over to Saskatchewan.
yeah, I mean, it's
Not
obviously
bass,
good.
obviously, but everything
Well,
else, we've got like some of the biggest of the biggest, right? Like,
well, the Geeks got second in this deal, right? Overall,
yeah,
also in Saskatchewan.
right. Now, obviously, we did some stuff in Manitoba as well, but like, it's where I am in Manitoba. It still feels like part of Saskatchewan. It's so close to the border.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, when you're catching those tiger trout in Manitoba, right?
That was Manitoba as well. Yeah. Once we got to day 3, 4, and 5 were all in Manitoba.
Okay.
Manitoba
Okay, I
has an
got
unreal fishery. It's like it's so good, right? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
they, especially for like trophy size fish, it's insane, right? And then you have Lake Winnipeg to top it all off for like giant walleyes, but there's just like, I find it like northern Manitoba, like you have your best road access for like trophy lakers. I do some stuff in Saskatchewan for big lakers, but it's like the worst road conditions you can imagine, right? Like some years you can't even get places, anything like that. There in Manitoba, it's blacktop all the way right to the lodges.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the top end's out of control there, pike, walleye, and lake trout.
Yeah.
People come here for the numbers and the scenery mostly.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but
I
look
mean,
at what Cooper puts on the ice though, right? Cooper's walleye was a pig. His pike was a big fat pig. Like,
yeah,
there's
I
obviously
gotta have
some.
a good long chat with him for quitting. he's getting the coach talk for sure. I'm pissed. Gets a chance
I
to
was like,
represent Lake of the Woods.
his big crappie and stuff too, like unreal. I've never
Yeah.
caught a crappie. I really need to come out your way soon and catch a crappie.
Yeah, those are real big, and it's funny because they're just like fighting for half an inch and a quarter of an inch, but they're just like growing by half a pound each time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're to compete, to be able to compete doing what they were doing would have been, even if everything lined up, it still would have been a stretch.
Right. They would have needed the perfect bites, and then maybe for us to like fail on one
But,
species, right? Like,
yeah,
which was
so
so like,
entertaining though. Whoever invited those boys to the party, like
oh,
that was
when he went
awesome.
on his rant with the monster truck and airplanes and stuff like that. I had so much fun with him down in Fargo, bugging about all that stuff. It was good.
Right, you went for the trophy ceremony, the ice fishing
Yeah.
show, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So what do you got lined up? Are you doing you guide all summer, right? And then obviously you're focusing on the YouTube thing hard in the winter.
Yeah,
So,
I guide. My summers now are about half guiding, half filming, and then winter is full on filming for YouTube. Like, that's it. That's literally what I do.
yeah.
I'm a lube tuber.
Yeah. How about you, Adam?
I have a regular job and just whatever, fish whenever I can.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Any aspirations of like pushing it a little further, or you just like doing it, or
I don't know. Yeah, there's been a couple of us that have chatted about going down and maybe getting on the NWT just as co-anglers, like go down and take a truck and maybe haul a boat down and muck around for a week or two. And I don't know, it's kind of just up in the air right now, but it'd be nice to do something for it before a guy got too old and, it's kind of just like he'd give up and whatever. So we'll see.
Yeah, like Clayton said, it's.
I'll give you a famous line, Adam. I went down on a guided tarpon trip in 2013. One of my clients took me there from Wollaston. And I said to the guide, I said, I really want to come down to Florida and do this. And the guide turned to me and said, don't just be the guy that talks about it. Go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go do it. So I did.
Yeah.
Went down to Florida for 2 winters in a row, 3 months at a pop. So go do it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want it bad enough, right?
Just go.
Yeah. No
It's
rugrats
experience.
running around yet either, hey?
No, I'm safe that way, so.
Yeah. Strike while the iron's hot, bud.
Yeah,
Hop in,
exactly. Yeah.
sign up as a co-angler if you get a couple days off. Take a look at the schedule, see if there's any Bassmasters you want to do.
Yeah.
I need a co-angler for a few more, so take a look.
Dude.
All my bass gears in Ontario would have to be bumming rods and stuff.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Adam, you should go do that, dude. You should go down
That'd
with
be
Jamie
epic.
that would be wicked.
Yeah, bud. We'll talk off air about that for sure.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll send you over the schedule and see if you can make it work.
You should totally go do that.
That'd be next level, yeah.
Clayton, you can come too, but I know you're too damn busy. I can barely get an hour out of you.
Trust me, my hamster's like spinning, right? Like, okay, how can I do that? I love to see different experiences, right? And like see different sides of the whole fishing industry and fishing world, right? Like, I want to see it all. I don't want to be in this little tiny bubble. I want to see everything.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Like, you're doing your ice fishing video thing now. I'm sure that's gonna expand into something else, and as platforms change and as the industry changes, I'm sure you're gonna change with it. So I'm sure you got a lot of cool things lined up ahead.
I just sit here and stare at the trophy most days now.
Yeah, and hey, what's with all this lube tube and stuff? Like, I'm not too hard on the YouTubers.
No, you've definitely gotten better. It was like when you first started to do it, you were like, you trashed on the lube tubers so hard. You're like, now it's like you've accepted it. You're like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do a little bit, right? Like, not obviously not full time. You're trying to do a bunch of other stuff too, but I think you've accepted it. Like, this is
what did I am curious what I like specifically what the trash was.
I'd have to literally go find it and stuff like that. But I know it was like when you first started to make videos, it was like, I mean, you know what? It's probably your way of having fun more than anything. But and it's like, and only the guys that are gonna like look at it and go like, I can't believe you just said that. It'd be the guys that actually do it for a living, right? Like, I'll find one. It's nothing's bad. If it was bad, Jamie, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now, and I wouldn't have come and talked to you in Winnipeg.
I do have like I said before, you have fun and chirp around and everything, but I do have a lot of respect for the guys that do it for a living. Like I said, it's easy to be naive to how much work goes into it and how hard it really is. And I'm sure Adam saw throughout that process that it's a real thing. It's real work, and I mean, it's cool that you guys are doing it for a living, because there's very few people that can say they're primarily fishing for a living, and there's a handful of you guys that have. So definitely totally cool that you guys have paved the way and made it like even an attainable thing. So no matter how much chirping there is, there's a lot of respect.
It's all good. And I'm never going to be the guy that pretends that we have it so hard or we have all this, right? Like the old saying, right? Like, walk a mile in somebody else's shoe, right? Like, everybody has a hard go no matter what they're doing, right? Anybody that's making a living in any industry is going hard, right? So, yeah. It's long days for sure.
Yeah. I was hoping you had a specific chirp example.
I wish I was more prepared for sure. Like I said, when you message me, like, yeah, I'll send you a link. I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot, right? Like, I'm like trying to, zone everything in to get here in time. And I was still late, right? Like,
yeah, I was like, thanks, Clayton. Like, I've been thinking about it all day. I was like, what are we going to talk about? This and that. Send Clayton a reminder at 6:00. And he's just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that shit.
Sorry. I showed up.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And it's definitely, definitely not something you guys had to do. So anytime someone hops on, I've been itching to talk to both of you, and yeah, it's sweet, boys. And I appreciate you taking the time, and congratulations again. And like I said, I wanted to have you guys on, win or lose, just because that not saying that everyone else wasn't competitive. I know they were, but it just seemed like that there was a certain aspect, and could tell that if you guys didn't win, you probably would have died trying. So congrats again.
We would have went down for sure. We're the only team I think that didn't have a fight. So there was no fighting on our end at all. Not one scrap. The closest we got to fighting, we're driving from Twin Lake up to the Paw, and Adam's driving, and he's like, I'm pulling over for smokes. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, I'm looking at the GPS. I'm like, if we get there, we got a half an hour to fish. I'm like, there'll be no smokes. Like, drive. And we drove. There was no smokes.
No smokes?
No smokes. And afterwards, Adam doesn't smoke much at all. He only smokes when he's like when he needs it, right? When he's like in the moment. Afterwards, he's like, I'm so glad you didn't let me stop for smoke.
I was like, maybe if he's dependent on it, that's kind of a reach.
No, it was good.
If you're just looking at banks and recreational darts, then yeah, keep sailing.
That was the closest we got to like any type of like scrap. It was awesome. Adam was literally the perfect person to fish with.
Yeah.
So I've already put my name on him for the next one. He's not allowed to fish with any other team but me. So
is it going down again this spring, or that's too much of a teaser?
We don't really know yet. Like we're always like I told the guys in Fargo, was like we're always planning something, but nobody really know until it actually comes out for the most part.
Yeah.
But we're always scheming something.
Yeah. Well, I would be really surprised if something like that didn't come out again, because obviously it was a success, and I sure hope it does, because it's pretty damn entertaining. I was talking to Ash, like we'd be on, Monday night sitting on the couch, and I'd be like, oh yeah, say this, and these guys are going to win. She's just like, I just want to watch Gossip Girl. And I was like, no, beat it. Like, this is 3 hours of ice fishing competition. So
we toyed around the idea of like putting one out every night, and finally it was like, no, let's just put them all out at once. And if people get through them the first night, great. If they need to wait till they need to watch it all the second night, right? Like, the more I thought about it, I'm glad we did it the way we did it. Just pump them all out and let people go through it.
Yeah. I always had my order of what I would watch. I would watch Joe Cooper first and Dave Winters, Jay, because he was fishing around where I fished, and then you guys, and then would whatever alternate between the last couple. And it was the same. I never strayed from the routine. But I admittedly didn't watch the last two. Like after you were screaming, we won. I was like, all right.
Yeah, like a donkey. Oh, what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, now I'm like, why did I do that? But at the same time, it added to it, right? It's like,
yeah, I liked it. You earned the right to say it. So, but yeah, I'll won't take any more of your time, fellas. Any shout outs you want to give while you're here, or anything like that before we send you on your way?
No, just keep doing what you're doing, and I obviously wish you a lot of luck with the whole, not that I believe in luck, you create your own luck, but with the whole chase to get on the Elite Series and stuff like that. So kind of how you followed the Game of Inches, I'll be following that as well. Even though I don't do a lot of bass fishing, I still always find myself looking to see how Gussie was always doing, right? So it'll be the same thing with you. I obviously have more of a connection with you than I do with Gussie, so I'll be following even harder. So definitely wish you luck with that for sure.
Nice. Appreciate that, bud.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. It was cool hanging out with you and meeting you down in Winnipeg there. And yeah, awesome. Can't wait to watch you on the Elites or the tour down there. And hopefully you are a success down there. And thanks, Clay. And it was a good time on the GOI.
Yeah, buddy. It was good. We'll get this trophy in your house here in the near future, so you can have a turn with it too. And the big check. They cut one of those Happy Gilmore checks.
Oh, yeah. How many beers you figure you can fit in that cup?
A lot. Like, it is huge.
You could fit a cube of pills in there.
That's it's like not plastic.
Green diesel. Is that what you guys call it?
Green diesel, yeah.
Fill that thing up. I want to see some party time of it. That'll be a good thumbnail.
That's happening for sure.
We'll do it up for sure.
All right, Adam, I'm going to send you the schedule, and if there's anything that's appetizing
man.
to you, let me know. But
Yeah,
have a good winter, boys. I'm sure we'll stay in touch and keep at her. You guys are killing it.
for sure.
I bet, dude. Thank you.
Take care,
Right
fellas.
on.
Bye. See you.
See you, man.